So, Amber, I'm glad we've made some time to meet with each other. Would you like to put me in the picture? How come you've made this time to see me today?
So I have been sort of battling a bit with my relation with my husband, and I've just decided that I need to forgive him because it's starting to affect our relationship badly, I think.
Okay, you've got some concerns about your relationship with your husband, and it's been hard to let go of some things that have happened.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I've kind of been seeing someone else for a couple of years, but that's not really the problem. The problem, so when I say seeing somebody, it's not really like an affair. It started off as one, but it's not. We don't see each other a lot. Lately, we maybe speak and do the odd coffee date, but I wouldn't say it's an affair, and I don't think that's the problem.
Okay.
Um, So my husband used to drink a lot, um, but I wouldn't say an alcoholic. He used to get drunk at parties and events, and then become quite belligerent, um, and and I can't get rid of that feeling towards him when he was like that.
It was unpleasant or scary?
Yeah, I think both.
Both
Yeah.
unpleasant and scary. How so?
Um, he he would say things and shout, although he was never abusive. But I just feel like I can't forgive him, and I'm nasty to him, and I'm ugly to him, even though I don't want to be, because he is a good man and he's been trying for about a year.
But there's part of you that's still afraid, still can't let go,
Yeah,
still can't trust, doesn't want him close.
yeah, he can't touch me. He absolutely can't touch me. Um, It's funny, he can touch me when we're in public. And in fact, the other day we were out at a bar, and he, I wanted him to put his hand on my arm and he never did. And then he said to me, "Well, you don't want me to touch you." But I'm fine with him doing it even in the car with the kids. I'm just not fine with him doing it at home or in private.
There's certain places where you feel safer and certain places where you feel more vulnerable.
Yes, yes, because I'm scared that at home it's going to lead to sex, and I can't touch him like that.
So, non sexual touch in a public space feels safer, whereas intimate touch at home could potentially lead to sex.
Yes,
And that's very daunting for you.
yes, yes. But I feel bad because I do love him. There's nobody else I want to be with. But I almost initiate a fight or an argument before I know we're going to be close or alone, so that that doesn't happen.
I can hear that you feel very conflicted, confused, and quite stuck. And you notice yourself doing certain things that feel almost like a puzzle to you. On the one hand, you want closeness, you want this relationship with your husband, you love him, you want to be with him. But on the other hand, it's very difficult for you to let him close and be consistently close with him. And you find yourself doing things to create some distance and keep him away.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I don't know how to fix that because it must be quite, well, I know it must be very frustrating for him. But I'm very angry with him in those times. I've still sort of got that anger and that resentment. And I don't know if I don't know if I want to or if I can forgive him, because if I forgive him, then I've got to get close. And I don't know if I don't want to be close, or I don't know how to be close again.
I'm hearing a conflict between your head and your heart. Part of you wants to be close, part of you doesn't trust the closeness, resulting in this push-pull dynamic with you and your husband, where neither of you is ever really clear about whether it's time to be close or time to be distant. It's very tiring and frustrating for you.
Yeah, very.
You love him, you like him, you feel a sense of compassion for him, but actually there's also part of you that is angry, hurt, and mistrustful.
Very much so. Yeah. And I realize what it's doing for him. He gets very frustrated. and he's so much better than he was. And then he'll have one blowout, like last weekend. He'll have one blowout, and then he'll just take me back to the place when he used to drink and shout and perform. And then it feels like I'm back at square one.
So part of you feels that although he's changed the weather, that the climate hasn't really changed. And while he's trying, what's underneath is actually still that volatility that leaves you feeling very unsafe.
Yeah, but maybe I've pushed him to that.
Pushed him?
We've got 2 kids, young kids, and it's, my youngest is very trying, and he only wants me. And so when my husband tries to get involved, he doesn't want my husband. Then my husband doesn't seem to do enough, and I just take over. And then there's a screaming match, and then he says he feels useless and he can't do anything, and then he will explode. And although it doesn't happen often, but then I just feel like we're back to square one.
The family dynamic also participates in this struggle between you and your husband around whose role is what, distance and closeness.
Yeah, well, I just get things done, so it's easier for me. He just doesn't take initiative, or he will do things in ways that I don't like. I don't like the things that he does all the time. Like he'll say, let me cook dinner, and then he'll take out something that at 5 o'clock that needs 6 hours of cooking. And I'm like, why did you do that? Why couldn't you just ask me in the morning, or just let me do it? Because it's just, he just sometimes doesn't have a clue.
That sounds frustrating for you.
Yeah.
And bewildering. Like sometimes you just want to shake him.
Yeah, like he just doesn't get it sometimes. And I think, how long must this man be with me before he just gets me? But, I like things to go a certain way. But then, like, sometimes I stop and I can see my mother in me. And that scares me.
Your mother?
Well, she was very dominating with my father. And quite sarcastic and conditional. And I think maybe I hold those things from her. Maybe I'm the same.
You saw your mum also be quite frustrated?
Always. She was always frustrated. She was always irritable.
That's something that you don't want to be like. Makes you feel fearful, aversive. It's not what you want for your life.
No. And then there's times when I'll have a fight with my husband and I'll think, I actually can't stand you. I just want a divorce. And then 3 days later, I'm like, well, it wasn't so bad.
You're very good at recovering and absorbing and moving on. But sometimes not so good at letting go. Moving on and letting go can sometimes be 2 different things.
Yes, because then I think I'm okay, and then he says something, and then I just isolate, and I don't want to be close to him. But at the same time, I don't want to be married to anybody else. I do want it to work. In the beginning, when I thought about leaving him, my biggest fear was having to share my kids, because I feel like they're my kids.
You feel you do everything for them. Your youngest is also quite needing of mommy.
And yeah, the pregnancy was very tough with my youngest, because my husband, I don't think my husband thought that the youngest was his. And he never knew he's never openly said he's known about my affair. But come on, he must know. But he never thought that it was his, when it is his. And he knows it now, but he never could bond, even in the hospital. It was terrible. I mean, he got the names wrong on the birth certificate. I mean, who does that?
He must have been exasperated.
So it was a very traumatic experience for me in that hospital, and for him to not be involved in our son's life like he should have.
It was sort of you and your son, us and them.
Yeah.
It was disappointing.
Yeah, so I think I'm still angry with him about that.
Hurt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel quite abandoned, even betrayed?
Yes. Yeah. And that's where I can't even have a conversation with him. I can't really speak to him because sometimes he really just irritates me.
Irritates?
Because I don't know if that he gets me.
Mm.
I don't know that he tries, but he's not getting it. I get very frustrated with that.
What I'm hearing is that you notice that he doesn't really meaningfully enter your world, see things from your perspective.
Yeah. Like he gets up every morning to do the school run and to get the kids ready, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. Just get involved, just take control, but he doesn't. I don't know. He wants to do the lunches and make the teas, but he doesn't know which cups to use and how to help my youngest to dress. And so I've just got to do it.
It's tiring.
Yeah.
Sometimes feels easier to just do it on your own.
Yeah.
What I hear, I just want to just check with you, Amber. It sounds like you feel that your husband is very good at cooperating without participating. So, for example, what you mentioned about the dinner, he will cooperate in taking the dinner out to make it, but not really participate in either doing it effectively or meaningfully taking responsibility for ensuring it gets done. And there's quite a mixed message there where there's nothing that you can really point to say you didn't do this or you didn't do that. But the way in which he does it leaves you with so much frustration, and there's no way for you to meaningfully clear that out tangibly and logically. And so you end up absorbing a lot of impact that then builds up and results in you exploding and pushing him away. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yes. Yeah. It is. And the things are, like I said, I want to be married to him, and I want to, have a marriage, but I don't know what I've got at the moment because we don't share any closeness. But I can't. I can't go there with him.
What I'm hearing is that the physical closeness is definitely off the table for you. There's an aversion there. But I'm also hearing that emotional closeness is very much missing for you. And you're longing for that emotional closeness in order to feel safe. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yeah, but I don't know how to get that with him.
Okay.
I don't know how to be close with him. Because it's very unnatural.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's uncomfortable.
Very.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah. I feel very exasperated with him sometimes.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you, Amber, is that you're here, you really want this marriage to work. It's very important for you. You don't want to not be married. You don't want to be alone. And also, most importantly, you don't want to share your children part-time.
I think I could be alone. I just don't want to share my children. Because I just think that nobody can look after them like I can. And they need me the most.
And the history shows that you can't trust your husband to know what's the right cup, know what to put in the lunches, get dinner ready on time.
Yeah.
Even accept and bond with your youngest.
No, he can't. He doesn't get the kids like I do.
And it's important for you to be there with your kids, raise them and be there to look after them, nurture them, keep them emotionally and physically safe. And that goes hand in hand with being in this marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just feel a bit stuck.
Very stuck. On the one hand, wanting this to work, but on the other hand, I'm hearing a lot of doubt as to whether it can.
Yeah. There's days when I just think it can't work because I don't like him. And I just want a divorce.
Where do you feel that feeling?
In my chest, as I'm saying that. Yeah, in my chest and my head. It feels like it's just heavy.
Heavy. Trapped, restricted, wanting to break out.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like that.
Okay. What I'm also hearing, you must tell me if I've got this accurately, is that you being here today is almost like a metaphor for what happens in your in your marriage. And that there sounds to me like a challenge or a difficulty between the two of you, yet you're here to work on it on your own. And so again, the responsibility is on your shoulders, but not all of the control.
Yes. But I think I like it like that. This is my journey. This is not his journey. This is my journey. That's why I'm here.
You like it like that? How come?
Because this is something I want to do. He can do his on his own. And I think he should. We've had couples therapy before, but I just decided that this was something I really wanted to do for me. To work out that resentment and that anger that I have towards him.
Okay. Which is what you shared with me at the beginning of our time today.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason you're here is to work through the anger and resentment that you have towards him, so that the two of you can be close and that you can enjoy your marriage. That makes sense to me. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to share with me before we wrap up today?
No, I think that's all.
You feel that I've got you accurately?
Yes, I do.
Okay, super.
Thank you.
All right, then let's wrap up here for today. We'll make another appointment and we'll pick it up together next time.
Thank you. Thank you.